Now, what were some of the other memory applications in Intel's memory systems division? You already talked about replacing core memory and control memories for CPUs. What were some of the other memory applications, and what was Intel's goal for their memory systems division, which use your own components?
Well, I mentioned Bill Jordan
Yes,
at Honeywell, that ran the crazy guy that had this idea of a DRAM memory. Well, he made up a proposal to Noyce that they start a memory systems division, that they make system level products, and looked at different applications. And in those days, there was the IBM add-on marketplace, plug compatible peripherals to go with IBM mainframes. And so the plan was to make make IBM compatible memories,
Plug-in memories.
and at a system level. And Intel had quite a business in that area for a while. And what really got made it successful were defects. Ellie understands this because he designed his whole SanDisk product line around the fact that there will be defects. But we'd make DRAMs, and there'd be a single bit failure. You'd throw it away. But what we started doing is we collected all the left half and the right half memories. That is, the ones where the failure was on one side and one was on the other side. And they came up with a plan to stack the chips. It actually took two 1103s and put them piggyback and soldered the leads together, plugged them in, and one chip was the lower half of the addresses, and the other chip was the upper half of the addresses. We shipped a ton of chips, systems, IBM compatible systems that way. And in those days, IBM was having trouble keeping up with demand for memory, and they were way behind on memory. And so we went to IBM and we worked this deal that was super secret at the time, where IBM took all the memory off all their machines inside of IBM and shipped it to customers, and bought Intel memories and plugged it in. So all the IBM mainframes were running with Intel memories on them.
Wow.
While they were competing with neck and neck in the marketplace.
That's something I certainly did not know.
I don't know, Ted, did you have any?
In addition to DRAMs, Intel had a line of other memories.
There were
stack
other
RAMs,
memories
DRAMs.
as well.
Tell us all about that.
Intel developed the Silicon Gate process, which was a P-channel MOS process, single polarity. But they also did a bipolar process, which was considered new at the time. It was, I believe, one of the first Schottky bipolar processes. And the idea is a bipolar transistor, when it's turned on hard, you tend to forward bias the collector base diode, and that causes charge buildup. You put a Schottky diode around that junction to keep it, the Schottky diode conducts and not the junction, and that speeds it up. And in fact, there was a process that they used in most of the industry to reduce the minority carrier lifetime. They would dope the silicon with gold, and that would make the characteristics worse. It caused yield problems, but it sped the chips up. Well, with the Schottky process, you didn't need to do the gold doping. So Intel, one of the first products they had was a 16-word by 4-bit bipolar static memory that was typically used for, a slice through a register file in a computer. We also had a content addressable memory, which might have been used as part of a cache. And we did some work with programmable read-only memory. These were typically, in fact, Bob Noyce asked me to take a look at blowing diodes, and I did. And I actually filed for a patent on a way of improving the ability to blow a diode. But Intel, with this Silicon Gate process, learned that they could make a fuse in the polysilicon. So they had now two approaches to do a bipolar PROM, and the silicon fuse was the one that worked out. And so they had a line of those devices that you use typically for like microcode and a microprogrammable computer. So those were a few, and our first
How about a word on
MOS
UV,
process.
UV erasable?
Pardon?
How about a word on UV erasable?
And then At the next lab bench, where I was working on a number of things, applications work, and starting to work on the microprocessor, a fellow from Israel named Dov Froman Benchkovsky was developing the EEPROM. And that became, I mean, initially the marketing view was it was only a tool to develop a concept, and then it would go to mass program ROMs. But it wasn't long before the customers were buying the EEPROMs, programming them, and putting them in systems to be shipped. And so that ended up being a far bigger business than anybody ever anticipated when the
quite
product
proud.
was developed.
Well,